Our content is made for information and entertainment purposes only. This is not financial advice, nor are we financial advisors, and we'll never tell you what to do with your life or money. Please do your own research before trading or in any type of investing. YFT Network does not work for nor in part of any existing business or privately owned organizations. If you would like to promote your business with our platform, please check our website at yftnetwork.com. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. YFT, baby. Let's get it. So what we're going to talk about today, man, we're talking about Daniel 8. Daniel 8, man. It's pretty much, a lot of Daniel is confusing. If you don't understand what's going on, you really have to really pinpoint, all right, when is this talking about? When is he having his visions? All that stuff. So now this is Daniel in this specific chapter really going in about the latter days. And what it's really talking about is a war that's going on, which I believe is happening right now. So we're going to go through these scriptures and really, help you break down and possibly see what I see in these scriptures. You know what I'm saying? And it's not saying that I'm 100% correct, but we can take it for what it is and actually see what's going on. Because we know the players that are playing right now. We know China, Russia, and America, they're all world powers, and we all know they work together. But at the same time, you got to understand that they're world leaders. They want control for themselves as well. So what we have here is a one-horned goat and a two-horned ram. This main battle that we see in Daniel 8 is talking about these two animals. So we're going to go ahead and get into these scriptures and really break down what we see, especially from an economic perspective. So if you can get on your Bible, you know what I'm saying, and really understand, so you can understand what I'm saying, you can really follow through, and you can actually follow through on the screen as well. It doesn't really matter. But we're not going to go over any charts right now. This is all just Daniel 8 scriptures and really breaking down what's going on. So let's start with Daniel 8. This is the vision Daniel had. And the first thing I want to do before we even start off talking about anything, let's talk about when this vision is supposed to occur. So if we go down and just scroll down, let's go to Daniel 8. Let's see here. Let's go to here. We're going to scroll down, right? And when we look at here, when we go to Daniel 8:15, and it came to pass, when I, even Daniel, had seen the vision and saw the meaning, then behold, there stood before me as an appearance of a man. And I heard a man's voice between the banks of Ulai, which called and said, Gabriel, make this man understand this vision. So he came near where I stood. And when he came, I was afraid and fell upon my face. But he said unto me, understand, O son of man, for at the time of the end shall be the vision. Now as he was speaking with me, and I was deep sleep on my face toward the ground, and he touched me and set me upright, and he said, behold, I will make thee known what shall be in the last end of indignation, for at the time appointed the end shall be. So basically we're talking about the end of Caesar's reign, because we know in Daniel's, everywhere in Daniel is really talking about how things are going to end in the latter days, because it's all visions and prophecies. So let's just get this out the bat now. This has nothing to do with Torah. This is all about prophecies. And we're talking about this because we actually can see it going on right now. So we know for a fact, all right, this is towards the end. This vision is towards the end of Caesar's reign, basically. So let's start from the jump now. Let's go back to Daniel 8:1. So in the third year of the reign of King Belshazzar, a vision appeared unto me, even unto me, Daniel, after that which appeared unto me at the first. And I saw a vision, and it came to pass, when I saw that I was at Shushan in a palace, which is a province in Elam. And I saw a vision, and I was by the river of Ulai. Then lifted up my eyes and saw, and behold, there stood before a river a ram which had two horns, and the two horns were high, but one was higher than the other, and the higher came up last. So when we automatically when we talk about this, they're automatically trying to distinguish, all right, there's two horns on a ram, and each of those horns means something. Because it says one was higher than the other. So when we look at China, Russia, all those Eastern countries, their powers are kind of divided, but we understand they all are not equal. So let's keep it going. And I saw the ram pushing westward and northward and southward, so that no beast might stand before him. Neither was there any that could deliver out of his hand, but he did according to his will and became great. So when you break down these scriptures, right, and you see Daniel 8:4, and I saw the ram pushing westward, northward, and southward. What direction is missing out of those verses? We're missing east. You know what I mean? So let's go to the map, and we're going to look at the map here. I got this map drawn up. So it said the two-horn ram was pushing southward, westward, and northward. You know what I'm saying? Just so we can go back, look at Daniel 8:4, so we're not confused here. So we're missing east. So that means the two-horn ram belongs in the east somewhere. This is where the two-horn ram is supposed to be, in the east, because he's pushing what? He's pushing west, he's pushing north, and he's pushing south. You get what I mean? So just remember that. So we're going to keep going. I'm going to erase this and keep going. And I was, and here we're going to go, Daniel 8:5. And I was considering, behold, and he goat came from the west on the face of the whole earth and touched not the ground. And the goat had a notable horn between his eyes. So automatically, what did it say? It said the one-horned goat came from where? Came from the west. We didn't get a direction of where the two-horned ram was from. We had to figure that out on our own, because we got every other direction besides the east. So now we're going to go to our map again. It says the one-horned goat came from the west. So the one-horned goat is over here in the west. You get what I'm saying? So we have the west one-horned goat, and we have the two-horned ram on the east. That's pushing northward, southward, and westward. All right, so let's keep it going. And he said he touched not the ground. So when we talk about digital warfare and everything that's going on in these days, we're not fighting a battle. This is what Daniel was seeing. He was seeing two powers going against each other. But it said the goat came from the west and touched not the ground. So when Daniel's seeing this vision and he's seeing, why didn't the goat touch not the ground? Because we're not fighting a war like we did back in the day. This war is different. And we have to understand that we're in digital warfare, we're in biological warfare, psychological warfare. You know what I mean? Financial digital warfare. This is what I believe it's talking about. So we're going to go to Daniel 8:6. And he came to the ram and it had two horns, which I had seen standing before the river, and it ran unto him with fury of his power. So what did we read already? So far that we read so far that the two-horned ram was pushing northward, southward, and westward. Now it says the one-horned goat from the west. What was the one-horned goat from the west doing? It said it touched not the ground, and he came to the ram and had two horns, which I had seen standing before the river, and ran into him with fury of his power. So we seen over the years, you could go look this up. We seen China and Russia trying to flex their muscles. We seen that happen. You know what I'm saying? All these years, you see China trying to go north, trying to go to the west, trying to mess with Venezuela, trying to mess with Cuba, trying to go south to Africa. You know what I mean? If you go look at the BRICS nations, this is all stuff you can Google up. The BRICS nations is Brazil, Russia, India, China, and South Africa. You know what I'm saying? And Brazil is in the west. So you got to understand that China, Russia, they're you know what I mean? They have a confederacy with these nations around the world trying to take over the one-horned goat's power. So when they talk about a disaster and this plague coming around. We don't know who let this. We know the Most High is in control. End of the day, but you know these dudes. They play these games because ultimately they're playing against each other as well. And we got to understand that these are the world powers. Just because everything seems good on the outside, you know what I mean, to the general public, doesn't mean that they're not fighting behind closed doors. Because what the Most High says? He says kingdom will go against kingdom, nation against nation. So all these nations are confused right now, and they're fighting for power. So when we see that the goat went back and touched not the ground and hit the two-horn ram in all his fury, the two-horn ram had no more power. So we're going to go to Daniel 8:7 and keep going. And I saw him close into the ram, and he was moved with choler against him and smote the ram and break his two horns. And there was no power in the ram to stand before him. But he cast him down to the ground and stamped upon him. And there was none that can deliver the ram out of his hand. Therefore the he-goat waxed very great. And when he was strong, the great horn was broken. And for it came four notable ones toward the four winds of heaven. And out of one of them came a fourth little horn, which waxed exceedingly great, toward the south, towards the east, and towards the pleasant land. So what we're reading right here, this shows you the west came back and destroyed the two-horn ram. Anyone that try to come up and try to flex their muscles like the two-horn ram did, this is what Daniel was seeing. We already read that this was talking about the end. You know what I'm saying? So now we see Daniel showing us, look, this goat is not playing around. This goat is Caesar. You know what I'm saying? So we're going to keep going and showing you that it's Caesar. And now we're going to get to Daniel 8:10. And it waxed great, even to the host of heaven. And it cast down some of the host and the stars to the ground and stamped upon them. Yea, he magnified himself even to the prince of the host. And by him the daily sacrifice was taken away. And the place of his sanctuary was cast down. And the host was given him against the daily sacrifice by reason of transgression. And to cast down the truth to the ground. And it practiced and prospered. Then I heard one saint speaking, and another saint said unto the certain saint which spake, how long shall it be the vision concerning the daily sacrifice and the transgressions of desolation, to give both the sanctuary and the host to be trodden under foot? And he said unto me, unto 2,300 days, then shall the sanctuary be cleansed. So we already know this is talking about after the battle. Whatever happens with these two powers, we're going to see some crazy shit going on. You know what I'm saying? And this is what we got to prepare for, because we're going through the fire. All this economic warfare that's going on with these nations, we got to understand the Most High is conducting all this stuff. So these nations are in confusion against each other, trying to battle for power all day. That's what they do. And if you go ahead and read all this stuff that's going on with daily sacrifices and the King of Peace and all this stuff, there's going to be some wicked stuff that we see coming in the near future. And you can best believe that. So we're going to go to Daniel 8:15. We already read most of this. This is talking about Daniel seeing this as the end days. You know what I'm saying? So we're not confused here. We read 8:15 through 19 before we started from 1, just to show you this was the vision of the end. So we're going to go to Daniel 8:20. So the ram which saw us having two horns are the kings of Media and Persia. And the rough goat is the king of Grecia. And the great horn that is between his eyes is the first king. Now, we don't know how long Trump's going to be in office. We know right now, if he puts in martial law, Trump's going to stay in office. So is he that first king of this big, great destruction that's coming when he takes down the two-horn ram? We're going to have to wait and see. But in my eyes, I feel like we're in that time right now. And dealing with digital currency and all this stuff going on, digital war, these guys aren't going toe-to-toe, war for war no more. It's all biological. It's all, you know what I mean, all this chemical warfare and viruses and cryptocurrency and who can be. You know what I mean, the Most High's got these nations in derision. So we're gonna keep going. So we know the one horn goat. The goat is the king of Grisha, and if you understand scriptures, Japheth, Grisha belongs to Japheth, the Greco-Roman Empire. So we understand that. We know the one horn goat is in the west. That's the king of Grisha. But Daniel was saying it in a way because Daniel was living back then. So he cannot go forward and say a United States of America and all that stuff. He can't say that because it's a different time. And we understand that reading these scriptures. You can't go back in time and think these words are supposed to be word for word. No, these nations changed their names and all that. So let's keep it going. Now that being broken, Daniel 8:22, now that being broken, whereas 4 stood up for it, 4 kingdoms shall stand up out of the nation, but not in his power. And in the latter time of their kingdom, when the transgressors are come to full, a king of fierce countenance and understanding dark sentences shall stand up, and his power shall be mighty, but not by his own power. And he shall destroy wonderfully, and shall prosper and practice, and shall destroy the mighty and the holy people. You know what I'm saying? So he's going to be destroying, when this new kingdom arises, it's going to be destroying our people. So this is why this economic warfare is going about right now. This is why YFT exists. We're not going around trying to depend on Caesar, because what is Caesar going to do? It shows you right here. Caesar's going to come out and deceive the masses, even the holy people of the Most High. The mighty and the holy people, he shall destroy them. But he's going to destroy what? Wonderfully. That means he's going to deceive you. You know what I'm saying? He's going to make you feel like everything is going to be good. You know what I'm saying? And through his policy, also he shall cause craft to prosper in his hand, and he shall magnify himself in his heart, and by peace shall destroy many. He shall also stand up against the prince of princes, but he shall be broken without hand. So we got to understand Caesar is getting to another level of power, but that power that he feel like he's going to get to is all going to come crashing down on him. So the way I see it right now is he's using all this stuff that he can conjure up as far as the internet, drones, wars, planes, ships, biological warfare, all that crazy stuff. Caesar's making him just like Nimrod. He's going out with a bang. He's gonna make the biggest bang in the world has ever seen. But what does the scripture say? It says, but he shall be broken without hand. You get what I'm saying? So he's gonna be deceiving our people. And you can see and I honestly believe this might be Trump. So if Trump comes in and starts martial law, Trump's gonna be in office for a while. If this is gonna be a new America, and he's gonna magnify himself in his heart and make you feel like everything's gonna be okay, this might be the guy from Grisha. But you gotta understand, America is gonna go down. It's gonna get real strong, real fast. But based on the digital warfare that we're in right now, especially when you look at cryptocurrency, all that's supposed to be, you know what I mean, that's supposed to like even the world out. It's supposed to give a even playing field for everyone. And we know Caesar doesn't like the internet. You know what I mean? So how can you destroy these 2 kingdoms with these 2 horned rams, but still lose power? You know what I mean? That's telling you something. That means that he's being deceived himself. So you just read these scriptures, man. And Daniel 8:26, and the vision of the evening and the morning, which was told, is true. Therefore shut up thou vision, for it shall be for many days. And I, Daniel, fainted, and I was sick certain days. Afterward I rose up and did the king's business, and I was astonished at the vision, but none understood it. No one understood this because remember what we wrote. Remember what was written. What was written was because this was the times of the end. We read that already. This was the time of the end. So Daniel back then couldn't understand what this was talking about. He couldn't understand how the goat was able to not touch the ground but still beat up the ram, the two-horned ram. Because it wasn't in his time. He's looking the vision ahead. You know what I'm saying? So when you read in Daniel 8, it's pretty tricky, but you got to understand this is the time of the end. And all this stuff makes too much sense that's going on right now. You know what I mean? There's too much war going on, and we know how all this is going to end. It's not going to end pretty, but it's definitely not going to end pretty for Caesar. And it's going to be bad for a lot of our people too. It says it in here. He's going to destroy the holy people by peace. And you see all these Negroes up in the White House praising Trump, thinking Trump finna do something for them. You know what I'm saying? This is why we don't go to Caesar. We don't go to Caesar because it says it right here. He will destroy wonderfully and will prosper, and he shall magnify himself in his heart and will destroy many. This is all deception. We're going through this right now. So if you can see it. You know what I'm saying? It's not real hard to see. We're in this time. It's no better time for it to be, you know what I mean, this time. You know what I'm saying? But, you know what I mean, digest it. Go read Daniel 8 for yourself. I think it starts at Daniel 8:15 when you actually see that it is talking about the end days. Daniel 8:17, I'm sorry. For at the time of the end shall be the vision. And then in the last verse, Daniel 8:27, it says, and I, Daniel, fainted and was sick certain days. Afterward, I rose up and did the king's business. And I was astonished at the vision, but none understood it. Daniel didn't even understand this vision because it was talking about in the future. This is the last world war before we go back to the wilderness. There's going to be another war when we get back, the day of the Most High. That's the last war. But there's still another war going on right now. You know what I mean? That's what we have to understand. But that's it for this video. I hope you digest it. Go read Daniel 8 for yourself. This is all economic warfare right now, man. You know what I mean? Daniel saw this a long time ago, and I believe it's playing out right now. So, I'm gone, man. Thank you for watching. Peace. YFT.